OS Trek 7401.4 to 7401.7. Bridge 7401.4. I was watching the view screen when I heard a door to the turbo lift open and glanced around to see Tabitha with a warrant officer. Commander Dan Fowler looked to see her standing there. "Can we do something for you, Commander Green?" "Yes, Commander Fowler. I need to speak to both of you," and that means you and the captain, okay, "about this android here, which is being evaluated by me as the operations chief." Dan Fowler looked kind of surprised. "Android looks a lot like you, Lieutenant." She said, "It's part of the evaluation, sir. That's going to require a special dispensation by me and the captain." "I will handle this, Captain." I nodded. "Miss Green, is that why you're here?" I asked. "That is precisely why I'm here, sirs. Actually, Felix asked for the certification. One, to be certified with the right to look like a human, and two, to be able to have quarters and be on the roster as a communications officer." "Isn't that right, Felix?" she said, looking at the android. "That is correct," said the android. I stood up and walked over with Fowler. Both Green and the android saluted us. I saluted back. I said, "At ease, the both of you." Felix looked kind of new there, don't you? "Why are you looking like Miss Green? And why do you want the quarters?" "I mean, I could do that, but I'll have Tabitha do that for you. You know, she's the head of operations, so yeah, she can do that. As far as certification specifically, get it from the Commander Fowler here, I suppose." "Aye, Captain," said Green, turning to look at Felix. "Felix, go, using the ship's computer, of course, look up the appropriate quarters for an android such as yourself. I suppose engineering could classify as quarters. However, if you wanted to appear as more human-like, then human quarters will be required. Let me know if you need anything. You're dismissed, Felix." Felix saluted and then headed for the turbo lift. "So these were orders presented to you by Admiral Browning?" I asked. "I have the orders if you wanted to see them, sir." "So, Miss Green, it seems that Browning may be going back on the plan not to use the androids as hinted at before. We will see how that turns out. Number one," I said, looking at Tabitha and then my second in command in turn. "Carry on, commanders," I said. We both turned back to our original positions on the bridge. Tabitha walked to the ops panel and tapped Ensign Carey on the shoulder and took her place. "I will be in the officers' lounge, Commander, will I?" "Green, ma'am?" asked Ensign Carey. "Yes, carry on. Go. Dismissed." "Aye, aye, sir. Green, Commander Green, ma'am." I said, "Pilot, set course for Earth, point 4, and engage." "Aye, sir," said Ensign Pryor from his position at the panel in front of me, and my second in command, who happened to take up position on my left. "Looks like 3 days to Earth, sir." "Thank you, Ensign." Green on ops monitored the systems. She then turned and said, "Captain, I'm going to cargo hold 3, all systems in the green." Green as she goes, then, I said, smiling. Tabitha, what is so important in Cargo Bay 3? Tabitha Green was up and moving toward the turbo lift. Captain, some fragile cargo in Cargo Bay 3 that I needed to confirm was secured. I mean, that's part of my job, sir. We'll carry on. Dismiss, Commander. I used my communicator. Ensign Carey, to the bridge, to cover ops, over. Bridge, this is Carey, over. I need someone at ops. Ensign, over. I had my eye on Commander Fowler as he was about to intervene. I gave him a stern look and a wave like no. Steinway out. I think we need to work on our duty shift so that people can, well, they do not go hungry, number one, I said. I watched as Commander Tabitha Green popped into the turbo lift and then done an about face and came back. Sorry, sir, she said. I will wait for Ensign Carey to come back to the ops. A minute later, the stand-in ops officer, Ensign Carey, re-entered the bridge and took up station, allowing Tabitha to leave once again. You have the bridge, number one, I said as I got to my feet and headed for the turbo lift. I was just too late and missed my opportunity to go with Tabby, so I waited. Once on the turbo lift, I said, take me to the officer's lounge. Once I reached the officer's lounge, I noted on the door it was 4:90 after the, I entered the officer's lounge, which is somewhat packed with people looking for a noon meal. I found me a table and sat down. Not long after this, I saw Commander Fowler enter and walked over to my table. Well, Commander, I said, who's watching the bridge? I left it in good hands, Captain, said Fowler. I saw Green enter the officer's lounge. Hello there, Tabitha. I was about to call you and have you go to the bridge and spare me so that I can get some lunch. Tabitha Green's communicator beeped. Commander Green, this is Ensign Bridges, over. Green, here, go. Assignment completed. Where do I go next, over? Officers, Bridges here. She looked at me. See if you can beat me to the bridge and observe, over. Bridges to the bridge, Wilco. What's this Wilco stuff, over? I'm a certified communications officer, over. It sounds like old radio English to me, over. Give me an alternative, sir. I will use it, over. Disregard. You can also, go ahead and use Wilco if you wish. Commander Green out. Sorry about that, Captain. I'll head back to the bridge, she said, turning to go. Sorry about that, Tabitha, I said. I should have communicated with you. I just figured you'd probably figure it out, and anyway, carry on. Tabitha waved a hand at me, and she walked back toward the door, a little bit exasperated. Wilco. I realized I probably pissed her off, and maybe I should have handled that differently. Number one, I said to Fowler, we need to start having people bring in their lunches to the bridge, I suppose. No, sir, Captain, said Commander Fowler. Sir, maybe we need to set the example and wait a little, till the end of the shift. Oh, number one, you sting me with that. But you're probably correct. We should do better. The waiter approached my table. I put up my hand and stopped and got to my feet and headed for the door. "I'll be on the bridge, number one." "Right behind you, sir," said Fowler. Back on the bridge. When I got back to the bridge, scanned and evaluated the room, I walked to my captain's chair and sat down, seeing Commander Tabitha Green at Ops, and I looked around for Ensign Carey. "Commander Green, where's Ensign Carey?" I asked. "I sent her as an escort with Felix, the android, to see that he reached his destination as ordered." I said nothing else and glanced at Fowler. He was grinning. "We should all meet in the officers' lounge at the end of the ship, sir," Commander Fowler said. "Good plan, number one," I said. "Commander Green," I said. "So, Miss Green, tell me, have you learned very much important stuff about androids today?" "Yes, Captain, I learned quite a few things about Felix, the android. I will see that you get a copy of my report." "Well, who else? Who else are you reporting to?" I asked her. "Oh, I thought you knew. To Admiral Browning. He's the one, remember, that ordered me to do an evaluation? I'll be glad when he stops doing an end run around my people," I said. "Miss Green, I would appreciate it if you not mention that in your report." "The Admiral likes you, sir," said Tabitha. "Au contraire," said Miss Green. "I think the Admiral likes you. He tolerates me." "If you say so, sir," said Tabitha. "Commander Green, this is Ensign Carey, over." "Go ahead, Ensign." "The android is deactivated in engineering. Is that what you wanted, over?" "Negative, Ensign. What I wanted was that you... Stand by, Ensign." "Captain, I'd like to go to the engineering, said Tabitha Green. "No, Miss Green, stay at your post," I said. "Number one, you go to engineering and deal with it." "Aye, sir." Commander Fowler headed for the turbolift. "Where did your plan go wrong?" I asked Tabitha. Felix the android wanted to have his own quarters, not to be deactivated in engineering." Using my communicator, I said, "Commander Fowler, reactivate Felix the android and see that he is assigned to his own quarters, over." "There, Miss Green, that's how you do it," I said. "Aye, aye," said Tabitha. "Commander Fowler, will do, sir, over." Steinway out. I looked for the time on the view screen. 7401.520. We can wait another half cent on the, what do you call it? Cent something. Is that how do we say the time? I said. There was no answer. "Computer, could you please give me some information about metric time and what the different parts are called?" In the metric time system, a standard unit is the day, with divisions into decimal units like decidays, centidays, and millidays. These present metric hours, minutes, and seconds, respectively. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Standard unit. The day is the base unit of time in a metric system. Metric hours are called decidays, that is, 1/10 of a day. Metric minutes are called millidays, that's 1/1000th of a day. Metric seconds are called microdays, 1/100,000th of a day. Thank you, computer, I said. Only 50 metric minutes before we go off shift and can go eat something. Excuse me, I mean, what, milli days? I don't think I'll get used to that one. Maybe I will. The other members of my crew stayed respectably silent on the issue. Commander Green, you there? She turned to look at me and then back at the screen. Oh, sorry, sir, I was busy and... What was you saying? It is currently 520 metric time. How would you say it? Minutes? Metric? What? I'm going to go with beats. I don't know. Time. It's an old historic reference that I know about, sir. I'll research that and I'll get back to you. Now, computer, explain what beat time is. One more thing to figure out. In the context of timekeeping, said the computer, beat time refers to a decimal time system proposed by the Swiss watch company Swatch. It divides the day into 1,000 units, called beats. Instead of the standard 24 hours, each beat is equal to 86.4 seconds. This system was intended to eliminate the need for time zones by using a single time for the entire world. Here's a more detailed look at beat time. Internet time. Swatch introduced beat time, also known as Internet time, in 1998. Base 1000 system. The day is divided into 1000 beats, with 000 representing midnight and 500 representing noon. Thank you, computer. That's enough. Sounds like our system, all right. So only about, 50 more beats? Probably 40 more beats now. Officers Lounge, 7401.605. I sat looking away from the windows at the many faces in the room. Most of them were from first shift. However, I sat alone. I noted that Tabitha Green was sitting with the android at a table. The android looked emotionless and was not looking at anything in particular. I made it through the main portion of my vegan chicken dinner and was now sipping some non-alcoholic wine. After I finished, I was on my feet and headed for the door. Captain, to the bridge, came the high-pitched voice of Lieutenant LeBrook over my communications. What is it? Over, I said. We're navigating around an object, all other unknown. Steinway, on the way to the bridge, out. So I made my way quickly down the corridor and then into the turbolift, and I felt the ship pitching over out onto the bridge. The view screen. I saw something spinning, looking like an old satellite, possibly. The Saxon was rapidly decelerating. Communications, give me shipwide communications. Over, I said. This is the captain speaking. Prepare for deceleration and weightlessness. Out. Maneuvering thrusters, I said. As we turned and missed the object, we slowed. I'll stop. I was already strapping into my chair, taking the place of LeBrook, who is now strapping in at ops. Engineering, get some androids out there and see if we can pull that satellite into a bay. Over. Engineering, aye. Ops, here we're detecting a nuclear payload, sir. Well, that's to be expected because it's the power source, I replied. Engineering, rig for nuclear payload. Over. Engineering, on it. We waited. and then we waited some more in the weightlessness of the ship. Engineering to the bridge, we have the payload. Captain, we can depart anytime you want. Over. Bridge, affirmative, out. Ops, get us back underway. Navigate to Earth. Correcting course for Earth, said LeBrook. Engage. As we regained speed and gravity, I was on my feet and headed for the door. LeBrook, you have the bridge. Aye, sir. Holodeck 7401.645. The remainder of my waking hours was spent here on the holodeck on various scenarios. I had grown tired of aircraft, too much like my real job. I decided to drive some ground vehicles in the old-timey days, that's what I called them. Then, not liking the traffic, I went back in time even further to horse riding days. I was on my horse, and it started raining. I quickly started looking for a place to stay, not wishing to be soaked by this fake rain. The lay of the land looked familiar to me. I looked down the road, and I realized this was leading somewhere I'd been before, but someplace in the future? Sure enough, I rode, and round the corner there was the inn. I suspected that it was Steinway's inn. However, this version was old, and yes, much different. All of the modern conveniences were now gone. So I was off with the horse in the rain and headed for the door, and a voice from the door said, "Welcome, welcome," said the barmaid. She was a buxom lass. "A place to wait out the storm," I said, shivering. "And a drink, to be sure, to drive out that cold," said the blonde-haired woman. "What be thy name?" I said. "Melinda," she said. "Know you the man named Fowler?" she said. Well, possibly, yes, I do." "He is my Lord Fowler," she replied. "Lord Fowler is with Sheila, wishing not to be disturbed. They're up there." "Is that so?" "No matter, I simply wish a place near the fire, at a table," I said. Melinda showed me to the table. "A tankard of mead," I said. "One tankard of mead, coming right up," said Melinda. I heard the sounds of lovemaking up the stairs. "Lord Fowler, that you? Hold it down," I said. The sound stopped, followed by Commander Fowler coming down in Highland Scottish kilt. "How did you find me, Captain?" "It just happened. I wanted to go back in time, and here I am. This is my inn. What are you doing here?" "No, sir. No, this is mine. Different inn. Looks alike." "Did you read the sign outside?" asked Fowler. "No, I didn't." "There is simply a sign outside that has a hawk on the sign. A facsimile of a hawk." Oh, Fowler's in. Right you are, Captain. Okay. Well, Captain, could you please go away? Let me have some fun here. Well, I can do that as long as I... excuse me. I drink, please. Allow me. I took a big gulp of my mead. I can leave. However, I dislike this rain. Is there anything you can do about it? I said. Computer, said Fowler, make the rain stop. I heard the rain miraculously stopping, so out the door I went, back to my horse. Once again I got on the horse, galloped a few gallops, and then realized, no, I stopped and I got off and... Computer, would you please give me an exit? And just like that, I was back on the simulator bed of this Halo simulator. Waking up, the lights glowed, and I was on my feet. Leaving the little booth, I walked toward the door and back into the corridor. Time was 7401.655. This is the end of OS Trek Stardate 7401.4 to 7401.7. So, there were a few remarks I wanted to add here. One being that I have instituted metric time, and I'm also going to be naming the episodes by the time, by the star date, rather than by episode numbers. I certainly hope it goes well. I am Eugene, the son of Douglas. Thanks for listening.